CapCut project not saving. Okay, let's dive into this explainer and rescue you from the absolute panic of a missing CapCut draft. Today we're going to discover exactly why your project disappears or fails to save, and we'll walk through the exact fixes for storage errors, app crashes, and sync issues across Android, iPhone, and PC. Let's get into it.
Look, we've literally all been there. You just spent 3 uninterrupted hours, color grading, making precise trims, and perfectly syncing your audio to the beat. And then, without warning, CapCut freezes, crashes, or throws a weird error. Suddenly, your edit is just gone. If you're staring at a blank screen right now, take a deep breath. Your work is highly likely recoverable. And more importantly, this whole nightmare is entirely preventable.
So here's our roadmap to fix this. First, the blank screen panic. Second, why saves actually fail. Third, step-by-step fixes. And fourth, bulletproofing your workflow.
All right, section 1, the blank screen panic. Remember, you are not alone, and yes, it is fixable. But before we actually fix anything, you've got to understand this one foundational concept. When you save a project, CapCut is creating a draft. But that draft, it isn't a massive file containing your full video. Instead, think of it as a map made up of small reference files. It simply points back to the original clips, photos, and audio sitting on your device. It's essentially a chain. And if just one link in that chain breaks or gets confused, well, the entire save fails.
Moving on to section 2, why saves actually fail. Let's look at the usual suspects breaking your links.
So what's actually breaking these links behind the scenes? Well, these are your prime suspects. It could be low storage space, preventing the app from writing temporary files. Or it could be an unexpected app crash. Maybe your phone just ran out of memory, or you got a phone call mid-edit that interrupted the save to the disk. Often, though, it's because original media was moved, renamed, or deleted. Remember that map concept. If you move a file out of your camera roll, CapCut completely loses the map. Other causes include a bloated cache, dropped internet signals interrupting a cloud sync, or even third-party storage cleaner apps acting like overzealous digital maids, mistakenly identifying your vital CapCut temp files as junk and just throwing them out.
Okay, section 3, step-by-step fixes. Here is exactly how to recover your work.
Listen, the most crucial point is this golden number right here, 3 to 5 gigabytes. This is literally the single most common cause of save failures. CapCut absolutely requires 3 to 5 gigabytes of free storage space just to write temporary and cache files while saving. So if you're on Android or iPhone, go to your storage settings and immediately delete unused apps or offload old videos. On a PC, check the drive where CapCut stores its cache, move some large files around, and definitely empty that recycle bin. Freeing this space is always your immediate step 1 priority.
Now, what if the app just flat out crashed on you? Whatever you do, do not panic tap or repeatedly force restart the app. I know it's tempting, but doing that can actually prevent CapCut from finishing writing partial save data to your disk. Instead, follow these steps. First, just wait a few seconds. Reopen CapCut normally without reinstalling or clearing any data. Then check your draft list because CapCut actually auto-restores the last editing state on relaunch a lot of the time. And if it does open, step 4 is absolutely critical. Immediately export a backup copy or duplicate the project before you make another single edit.
Okay, if you have the storage space and it wasn't a crash, we need to troubleshoot those links. Did you happen to move a video out of its original gallery folder? Put it back so CapCut can automatically relink it. Next, you might need to clear CapCut's cache, which can quietly cause these save errors behind the scenes. On Android and PC, this is super easy in the settings, but pay extremely close attention here. Never ever tap Clear Data. Clearing the cache is perfectly safe, but clearing app data will completely wipe your local drafts off the face of the earth. Also worth noting, iPhones don't really have a dedicated cache clear option, so if issues persist there, you absolutely must export your project as a backup before considering any reinstalls.
And you know, this brilliantly illustrates a super common misunderstanding. If you're staring at a prompt saying, CapCut project is being saved, try again later, the great news is your project isn't actually lost. You're simply dealing with the connectivity issue. If you have cloud backup enabled, CapCut is just trying to hit its servers. Just check your Wi-Fi, maybe switch to mobile data, or honestly, simply wait a few minutes for the CapCut servers to catch up and then retry.
But what if the draft has just completely vanished from the app's main project list? Don't freak out. Often it hasn't actually been lost. It's just not displaying, especially after an app update changes where folders are stored under the hood. You just need to play detective. On Android, dig into your file manager and look for a hidden folder called Video Cache. On PC, check your local app data directory. And regardless of your device, if you're logged into an account, click over to your CapCut Cloud or Spaces tab. A synced project might be hiding right there, perfectly intact, even if it's completely missing locally.
Finally, Section 4. Bulletproof your workflow. Let's stop this from ever happening again.
Treat this comparison as your permanent editing cheat sheet. Do keep that 3 to 5 gigabytes free. Do turn on cloud backup in your settings, and critically, do export a backup copy halfway through long edits. A half-finished export on your camera roll is infinitely better than a completely lost project. Plus, if you're doing massive, hours-long edits, maybe try moving over to CapCut PC, which tends to have much more stable saving behaviors for those really lengthy timelines. Now for the don'ts. Do not reorganize your camera roll or rename files while a project is still open. Never clear app data, and absolutely banish those third-party junk file storage cleaners from your device. They are your absolute worst enemy and will constantly delete the vital temporary files that your edit relies on.
So, look at your current setup and really ask yourself, is your editing workflow actually built to survive the next crash? Because let's be real, the reality of editing software is that crashes aren't a matter of if, but when. Take these fixes, apply these safeguards today, respect the golden rule of storage space, and ensure your next masterpiece never just disappears into the digital void.